welcome back everyone to Master Game Design, Unreal Engine 5 Stylized Environment and Third-Person Blueprint course. In the last lesson we left ourselves off by building this small hut over here, which it looks quite nice, but I will say one thing in regards to organizing. The outliner can get a little bit messy when it gets a bit closer to the building, so what I personally tend to do is once I build up what I want, I just go to the viewport, I select everything, and instead of just grouping everything up like I did before, what I tend to do is just select this entire selection. So I'm just going to click F to make sure this entire selection is selected just like that. And then I just tend to basically create a new folder for it all. So I go ahead and click add a new folder, and it just creates me a folder, and I can just call it, you know, like Harbor Hut or something. Just like that. And there we go. We now got ourselves Harbor Hut. So if we click on either one of the items on this pack, we can just select the folder, and if we want to select everything within this section, we can right click and we can select all descendants, and it's going to allow us to basically just grab the selection just like that. So it's quite a useful tip to know, especially since now we're going to be working on the rest of the items. So this time we're going to start off with this section over here. We're going to begin by creating this elongated type of a section. We're just going to, first of all, grab one of the roofs, and the roof that we're going to use is going to be probably these two over here. I will just go ahead and grab them real quick and check the scale. I'm going to hold Alt, just grab it off to the side and see how this would look like in regards to the section. Just like that. Also making sure that the grid, snapping, and all of that good stuff is sticked on. Then I'm just going to go ahead and place it up like this. And I can see that it's not going to be quite there in regards to the setup. And the reason being is that I need to make it, make them a little bit probably thinner, I would say. Or actually, let me just go ahead and grab a different roof, since I'm looking for the perfect type of a top to make use. And I might even just grab this one over here and just kind of slightly elongate it. I think it'd be all right. The downside of this though is when we're using it is going to be that some parts is going to be a little bit thicker, some parts is going to be a little bit thinner, but I think that's going to be all right. Again, I'm just using the scaling setup over here and just elongating it like so, so the overall scale would have some sort of snapping for the values themselves. I'm just going to go ahead and see how this looks like. Something like that, perhaps. Like so. And as you can see, what I meant by elongated before is that it's going to have, like, the front now is going to be a little bit thicker, and the side's going to be a little bit thinner. But actually, looking from a distance, I think that's going to be quite okay, especially since it's such a neutral color and whatnot. It's going to look quite good overall. Okay, so now that we have it like so, we can go ahead and start building it. Using it. So the way I'm going to start is actually I'm just going to grab a couple of walls, and yeah, I'm just going to search for walls maybe here itself. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and search for a wall and then start actually trying to make use out of them. So one wall is going to be called 4x3, 4x3, and then I need another one that's going to be way shorter, so maybe this one over here to put it up to the side. That seems to be a little bit too long, so 3x3 perhaps is going to be the right type of wall, and it seems to be just the right type of the wall. So that's very good for us. All right, so now we got basically ourselves the pieces that we want. I'm going to actually lower this down to see in regards to the height. The height itself needs to be a little bit wider, so I'm just going to increase it just a little bit like so. And that seems to be perfect type. I might even lower this down even more and do it like so. So yeah, we basically got ourselves basics dimensions in regards to this setup, and I'm going to check one more thing real quick. Yeah, if we were to lower it, it's going to be quite okay. What we want to basically do is when we're looking at you know, gray boxes and whatnot, we want to discern what kind of things need to be similar and what kind of things can be replaced. So for example, in this section over here, we're going to find ourselves that this entire section, maybe like this part, is going to be duplicated to this part, but also trying to speed up this entire workflow. So we're going to basically make 1/4 of this building over here, and then we're going to just add like balconies and windows on the side. But we want to make sure that things like pillars, the walls, and you know, the roofs are all going to be included, and then we're going to be able to just duplicate it on its own. So we're going to work with that basically. And yeah, we already got most of it we need, to be honest. We just need to go ahead and set it up nicely with, well, for example, we need duplicate it like so, and put it up to just our side like that. We're making sure that it's symmetrical, and for some reason I just didn't realize that these walls are lowered down, so we need to make sure we increase them in size. That looks quite all right. Okay. Maybe put it up to the side just like that, and on the side they're going to have pillars, so that's going to be all good. So just bring it up a little bit more. A little bit too high. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so now the next thing that we need to do is going to be adding pillars for starters. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to look for columns like so. Going to go ahead and add them up. Just thinking of which exact columns we need to add for this particular one. So I think I'll keep it somewhat neutral for them actually. So I'm going to, actually I will not keep it neutral. The reason being is if we want to replace them, it would be best to have proper rotation. So for example, if I'm adding this one over here, you can see that, well, this one is actually quite neutral, but well, this front, this back is without any blue parts, but the other ones would be. So for example, if we were to just simply place it like so, it would cause some issues if we want to like replace it or whatnot. So actually I will just add with this, or I will use a longer one, maybe something like so. Yeah, I think that looks quite all right. I just don't like the height of it, so I'm going to check. These are 3 meters, 3 meters, 3 meters. There you go. We're looking for 4 meter ones. And no, I will actually just, I think, extend this one, and I think this will look quite nice. We'll rotate this to the way I wanted to. It's going to be this way, like so. See, the original way might have been all right, or even, yeah, this way I think is going to be quite okay. I don't like this type of a column. The reason being it's too broken up, and if we want to, for example, close up the gaps, we could make the walls a bit larger. But what I'll do instead is I'm just going to use one of the other columns. So I'm not sure which one I'm using at the moment. Maybe something like this as a nice breaking type of setup. I think I'll just go ahead and extend it a little bit and just add it in like so. Maybe even make them a little bit thicker, which we can totally do. I think that looks quite okay. All right, so we're going to bring it down up. We're going to bring this back, and that looks quite all right. So actually, we're not going to rotate this at the moment. I think we're going to keep it as is. I'm not interested in adding detail for this particular one. So let me just go ahead and make sure that we are simply adding it like so. And that's going to be quite all right. We might need to lower everything down though, looking at these pillars. So let's go ahead and do that. So, all right, so this looks quite like a nice starting point. So what can we do now in order to continue ourselves with this setup? So yeah, first things first, what we can do is, well, we can make a duplicate out of it and just bring the second floor downwards. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to grab every single point for the walls, for the side walls, just like that. Going to hold Alt, we're just going to bring it downwards, just like that, and a little bit upwards, so there's no gap, like so. Finally, we're going to then add some decorations on the sides, and yeah, we definitely need to do that. We're going to just grab one of the walls, actually going to hold Alt, duplicate it, then I'm going to search for support, perhaps. There you go, and we're just going to add this in, I believe. This is going to look quite nice. Let's go ahead and just replace it and see where it would be. There you go. Yeah, that's going to look quite nice. Might need to extend it a little bit with this. It's very important to make sure not to overdo it, because the symbols, you can see like they're going to look quite clearly stretched if it's overdone. Just make sure you keep it to a minimum in regards to that. And I think I will take down the grid a little bit and just play around a little bit with the scale. There you go. That looks quite nice. I quite like this overall setup. Going to go ahead and actually duplicate it to the top. So quite like this, like that. Going to now hold Alt, rotate it, change this by 180 degrees, and just bring it outwards, just like that. And there you go. It looks quite nice. All right. So now the front can have a different one since it's pink thinner walls. I'm just going to try using this one. This one is going to need to be more thicker, or I'm thinking if it's worth doing it, or alternatively what we can do is just we can grab one without any decorations. It might also look quite nice for this, for the front, especially since we're planning to have balconies and whatnot. I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to just grab this one over here, put it up to the front, and just kind of bend it nice and easy. Put a duplicate to the top, just like that, and grab both of them, hold Alt, rotate them around, just like that, and set it up like so. All right, so we got ourselves a nice base. We of course now need to add some decoration and actually start populating it within the gray box. I think what I will do though is right away just going to group everything up to make it easier for ourselves. Well, not group everything up, I'll put it in a folder, just like I showed you at the very start. I'm going to select it all, click F, make sure that it is properly set up. Go to Outliner, create a new folder, and call this one Luxury House or something. Like so. Something like that. So now it's going to be properly set up. And yeah, we're going to continue on with this in the next lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be seeing you in a bit.